372 days. That's how long it took for the Soviet Union to collapse once the fall began. 1 year and 7 days. 70 years of superpower status erased in 12 months. The British Empire, it took 30 years to dismantle what took 3 centuries to build. Rome, the unstoppable war machine that conquered the known world, fell so slowly its citizens didn't realize they were already living in the aftermath. Here's what they don't teach you in history class. Every single superpower that ever existed believed they were the exception. They believed they were different. They believed they had finally broken the pattern. They were all wrong. Right now, in 2026, 3 superpowers dominate Earth: America, China, Russia. Historians studying our era from the future already know which one falls next. They know the warning signs we're ignoring. They know the decisions we're making that seal our fate. We just don't know yet. But we're about to find out. 372 days. That's how long it took for the Soviet Union to collapse once the fall began. 1 year and 7 days. 70 years of superpower status erased in 12 months. The British Empire, it took 30 years to dismantle what took 3 centuries to build. Rome, the unstoppable war machine that conquered the known world, fell so slowly its citizens didn't realize they were already living in the aftermath. Here's what they don't teach you in history class. Every single superpower that ever existed believed they were the exception. They believed they were different. They believed they had finally broken the pattern. They were all wrong. Right now, in 2026, 3 superpowers dominate Earth: America, China, Russia. Historians studying our era from the future already know which one falls next. They know the warning signs we're ignoring. They know the decisions we're making that seal our fate. We just don't know yet. But we're about to find out. Because somewhere in the world today, in Washington, Beijing, or Moscow, someone made a decision, signed a document, approved a policy, spoke a sentence that will be identified 2 decades from now as the moment it all started to crumble. The Roman Senate was in session the day Rome fell. They just didn't know it yet. Is your country next? If empires were patients, we could perform autopsies. We could identify the exact cause of death. So let's do that. Rome. Cause of death? Internal bleeding. For 2 centuries before the fall, Rome hemorrhaged gold to import grain from Egypt, silk from China, spices from India. The empire consumed more than it produced. Sound familiar? By 300 CE, Roman currency had been devalued so catastrophically that soldiers refused to accept payment in coins. They demanded food, land, anything real. When your money becomes worthless, your army becomes a mob. Britain. Cause of death? Exhaustion. In 1920, Britain controlled 58 countries. By 1945, it was bankrupt from defending them. America handed Britain a loan of $3.75 billion just to survive, the equivalent of $140 billion today. Britain was kept alive on American life support. The empire didn't fall, it was foreclosed. Soviet Union. Cause of death? Systemic organ failure. The economy couldn't support the military. The military couldn't suppress the republics. The republics couldn't feed their people. On December 25, 1991, Mikhail Gorbachev signed the dissolution papers in a nearly empty Kremlin. The Soviet flag came down at 7:32 p.m. By 7:33 p.m., it had never existed. 3 empires, 3 different paths. But look closer. Every single one ignored the same 5 symptoms. Symptom 1, currency crisis. When money dies, empires follow. Symptom 2, military overextension. You can't garrison the world forever. Symptom 3, ideological collapse.
When citizens stop believing the national story, the story ends. Symptom 4. Economic parasitism. When the elite extract wealth instead of creating it, the foundation rots. Symptom 5. The denial phase. Every empire enters a decade where problems are visible, but everyone pretends they're not fatal. Rome had 20 years of denial. Britain had 15. The Soviet Union had 10. Now ask yourself, how long has your country been in denial? Let's examine the suspects. Suspect 1, the United States. The undisputed king. 750 military bases in 80 countries. The dollar is used in 90% of international transactions. Hollywood, Silicon Valley, Wall Street, the world runs on American systems. But here's the crime scene evidence. National debt, $36 trillion. That's 123% of GDP and climbing. Interest payments on that debt now exceed the entire defense budget. America is borrowing money to pay interest on money it already borrowed. Infrastructure, ranked 13th globally. 43% of America's roads are in poor condition. The electrical grid is 60 years old and failing. 70,000 bridges are structurally deficient. Life expectancy, declining for 3 consecutive years before the pandemic. The only developed nation where this is happening. Americans are dying younger while getting poorer. Political cohesion. 38% of Americans believe civil war is likely within 10 years. The January 6th Capitol riot was the first breach of the building since 1814. The empire is eating itself. Suspect 2, China, the rising dragon. In 40 years, China went from farming nation to economic superpower. It builds more ships, produces more steel, generates more solar energy than any country in history. 1.4 billion people unified under one government. But look at the cracks. Demographics. China's population peaked in 2022. By 2050, it will have more retirees than workers. The one-child policy created a demographic bomb that's already detonating. Debt. 300% of GDP when you include local governments and state-owned enterprises. Evergrande, the world's most indebted company, collapsed with $300 billion in liabilities. 30 other developers followed. Youth unemployment. 21% officially, probably higher. Millions of college graduates can't find work. In Chinese social media, they call themselves the last generation. They've given up. Authoritarianism. Xi Jinping has concentrated more power than any leader since Mao. One-party states don't adapt, they shatter. Suspect 3, Russia, the wounded bear. 11 time zones, 6,000 nuclear warheads, permanent UN Security Council seat. It looks formidable on paper. The reality, GDP, $1.8 trillion, smaller than Italy, smaller than Texas. Russia is a gas station with nuclear weapons. Demographics, population declining by 500,000 per year. Male life expectancy, 64 years, lower than Bangladesh. Military, the Ukraine invasion exposed Russia's military as corrupt, incompetent, and equipped with Soviet-era junk. Russia is losing to a country with 1/3 its population. Future. Russia is a 20th century power trying to survive in the 21st century. It has oil nobody wants, weapons that don't work, and a population that's dying. Russia isn't a suspect for future collapse. Russia is already collapsing. We're just watching in slow motion. So that leaves 2, America or China.
So who's next? America, the debt-drowning democracy with crumbling infrastructure and a population at war with itself? China, the authoritarian giant with a demographic time bomb and an economy built on sand? Russia,
The fading empire already in freefall, clinging to nukes and nostalgia? The answer is all of them. Not in the same year, not in the same way, but within our lifetimes. The age of superpowers is ending, not because one empire conquered another, but because the challenges we face, climate change, artificial intelligence, pandemics, cyber warfare, don't respect borders or armies or economic systems. The empires of the past fell to rivals. The empires of today are falling to reality. And what comes next? That's not written yet. That's being written right now, by you, by the choices we make in this decade. History will remember our era not for who fell first, but for what we built from the ruins.